When it comes to love, dating, relationships, and marriage, why do we think that doing things outside of the will of God should still produce a fruitful harvest? I can apply that question to every area across the board, but I'm focused specifically on love and relationships. Why do we think as women that we can acquire the love we want outside of the will of God? Why don't we want to go in the will of God and then have God bring that thing to us so that it's safe and it's secure? A lot of women want to be wives, but you're not even a good daughter yet. You're not a good daughter to our Father. In order to be a good wife, you must first be a good daughter. Surrender your heart to God. Learn who God is. There's a correlation with women that I know in my life. We either have had our fathers, but they weren't present. Like, there's a difference between a man being there and then a man being there. So we've either had our fathers, but they weren't present. Maybe we had brothers, but they weren't protective of us. So maybe we had uncles, but they were toxic. You know, whatever it could be, cousins, but they kind of just dealt with you in passing when they needed. What I'm basically saying is that there are so many of us women who grew up without real protection from men. It don't matter if I was in a room full of 5 men. I didn't feel like those 5 men would genuinely protect me. I got like one uncle who I feel like would pull out a shotgun and shoot somebody for me. I ain't gonna hold you. Or would have back in the day. He's way older now, so he wouldn't do that. But outside of that, it's just like, when I think about the fact that growing up, I never felt protected by a man. Not once. And that has been staggering me. Like, that has literally almost made me stagnant in my adult life. So it's like we go from not feeling protected by men to trying to run up under a man. That is the biggest disconnect and the biggest breakdown that we have as women, where we go from not knowing what we're even looking for to try to find it. How you looking for what you don't even know to find? That's how women end up pregnant at a young age. They end up, bitter and broken and just all of these different things, because we're running up under men when we running up behind a man when we never even had a good example of what that should look like in our lives from the men around us. That's my story. That's the story of most women that I know. So I'm in saying all of that, instead of running up under men, we really should be chasing up under God so that we can first get an understanding of what it looks like to be covered and to be protected. And then God can send that right man. There's a lot of women out here in relationships, married, whatever your situation is. You literally found that man outside of the will of God, and then you want to drag that thing back to God and be like, here, God bless this thing. And it's just like, I never sent you this. How am I supposed to bless it? I never sent it to you. This isn't my will for your life. God has a plan for our lives, and so does the enemy. If God is like, this isn't the will that I have for your life, how am I supposed to bless this? That is literally the gist of so many marriages, that you with the person and you had children with the person that God never even sent your way. You found that person. And then we want to bring our mess and sit it in God's lap. People be wondering why they miserable and stuff. And it's just like, because you are not in God's will for your life. I don't want this video to be too long. So the gist of what I'm saying is, ladies, if you grew up with brokenness in your family in regards to male relationships, your father, your brothers, your uncles, your cousins, whatever that may be for you, if you grew up in brokenness regarding male family members, and then you turned around and you started chasing up under men, you gotta come back to a place of solitude. The place you need to look is up, because God is gonna cover you. You can't be a good wife if you're not first a good daughter to God. God wants to cover you. Everything that I have lacked in my life when it comes to men, or specifically familial relationships, I have been covered in God. God has filled those voids. God has healed those wounds for me. And I just couldn't be more grateful. But yeah, that's all I got. Consider doing things God's way. If you've already done them your way and you have not produced the harvest that you want, you won't. Newsflash, you will not get what you want seeking it your way. And if you see someone who's out there in the world and they have it, I bet you it won't last. It never do. And even if people stay together, they miserable. I know it through and through. It's solid and it's tested and it's proven. They're miserable. People know when they didn't make the right decision, even if they stay. That's all I got. God bless y'all. If you watched to the end, thank you. Forgive my hair. I just came back from the gym and now I'm about to go shower. Bye.